Managing social media campaigns with Monday.com is easy. How easy? This easy.
Hello, guys. Thank you. I'm okay. How are you guys? Okay. Today I want to continue show you the opening tips, hints, traps. A few days ago I did the first part, and I wanted to just continue. And I wanted to start it today with openings which called Ponziani, or English opening in the after e4, e5, knight f3, knight 6, c3 move. This what calls Ponziani, and a few tricks here in this. Pazzerani, yeah. Yeah. Okay, here is the two moves, d5 principle and knight f6. Knight f6 is also main line, and after this move, I have played also d4 and also d3. So d4 is the main line, the idea of Ponziani. And for example, if you take here, very cool. Hello, yes, we continue our opening trips, tips, hints, and traps for especially for blitz games. We know that in this pandemic situation now blitz tournaments and fast controls are very popular, so it's always nice to refresh or update your knowledge in such a opening trips traps. So after this, the main move is d5 by white. This is the whole idea behind this. I also played this, I guess, once or twice. I think the strongest opponent whom I meet with white, it was Grandmaster Ivan Šarić from Croatia. It was European, I think, European Team Championship. I don't exactly remember when it was, but I won quite good game. So after knight e7, the main line, knight e5 and knight g6. I think we had the same position, and I played, I think, queen e2, knight e5, queen e4, which leads to very complex endgame. But imagine you play very fast control, blitz or bullet, and you want to trick opponent. So you play bishop d3. This is not the best move, but it has very tricky trap behind it. So after this move, the best continuation for black simply takes the knight e5 here. Yeah, but imagine that your opponent thinks that you just blunder, let's say blunder in bully chess, and you just take knight f2 here. So what happens after this move, guys? Any ideas what happens here? Give you 1 minute. Yes, wrong end. There is a bishop c5 move also. Yeah, I had such a game against Vocaturo Daniel, Italian grandmaster. He in that you mean in this position, bishop c5. Yeah, but it has to be after big analysis because very responsible move by black. But this 97 knows like main move, queen e2, and so on. What after this idea? What to do here? Yeah, after simple king f2, we see that black will grab this knight, and after play d6 and have simply pawn up here. Queen f3 is the same, 95. So what's idea we have here? X, right x, bishop g6, yes. It's correct, but what did you calculate? For example, after bishop g6, I play 1 second. Yeah, for example, I play after bishop g6, queen f6. What did you calculate? Yeah, even in that your calculations, there is still game after king d6. No problem. So you have to understand that after bishop g6, there is two moves which you need to calculate: knight d1 and queen f6. So what is because bishop g6 otherwise very responsible move. It's better maybe stay without pawn after king f2 at least, yeah. But maybe you will calculate further. What you see after queen f6, for example. Arsene, after castle, you lost the queen, and then will be check. So x right x is correct here. Bishop g6 is a continuation, but when you play such a move, or you have to know it before you play it. I mean, maybe you know this opening, but if you don't know, you need to calculate well. So what is the point? Yeah, that's the best solution in this position in Falat to slap your opponent, of course, especially when you play online. Yeah, the point is correct, but for example, after bishop I played queen f6. What you play? Hello, Justin Davis. I don't know how he's doing. Probably good. Better ask him, yeah? So, okay. The bishop g6 is a very strong move here. So we see that black has now three options. Or take the queen, or play queen f6, or take the bishop. The probably worst thing is to take bishop. You after king f2, you simply lost the piece. Yes, after a check, I will go back on knight f3, and there is no enough compensation for the piece, right? But after ag, for example, queen f6. he played. How you punish opponent here? After queen e2, if he takes, what you do? Grab your tasty rook here. Thank you for following. Crazy Charlie or Crash Charlie, I don't know. Maybe you forget to input epsilon on your nickname. So after queen e2, knight h1, what? Knight f7. Knight f7, he will play simply bishop e7, right? And after knight h8, he will grab this bishop, and not so clear. You have the you have the winning continuation here. Sergeant Cop, thank you for following. I don't know is what world you are living, but that guy would have eaten the queen right away. Yeah, we will back for that idea to eat our queen. M Singer 24, thank you for following. Yes, Arsene, you are right. Here is the best condition is queen e2. And what to do here? 9181 Shri, thank you for following. The point that after knight h1, what else? Because for example, if you play g here, I can at least the minimum. I don't need to calculate more, but just check, attack the queen, force it to retreat, and after knight f2, we just stay again with peace, right? So knight h1 looks like only move, and now bishop f7, not knight g4 immediately because queen e7 he retreats. So bishop f7 check, and now they have two moves, or king d8 or king e7. The best move is king e7, but after knight g4 check, we will win the queen and win the game in few moves. And after king d8, which seems to be stronger, you punish opponent in two moves. Knight c6 check, dc, and queen goes to e8 with a mate. Yeah, this is the point. And after bishop g6, for example, your happy opponent thinks that you blunder something in calculations that takes the queen. Then you take this pawn with check, king e7. Now you go the check, king d6, and what happens now? What do you think, guys? What is here? Yeah, when you make some kind of work like this we are doing today, uh, about these traps and opening traps, you will have advantage in bully chess or blitz because you don't need to calculate or remember. It will be still fresh, and without loss of any energy, you can convert game to the point. Especially such a winnings is good in arena tournaments on leeches, yeah, when you have to win very quickly and start new game. Uh, Asef 68, knight c4, king c5, b4 you say. But I will take this, I will take your knight here. Where is mate then? And after d6 I will run on d3. So what is a precise way here to win? Yeah, bishop d8 you can be, of course, you can play like that. But it's not super, it's like not the super best continuation here, yeah? We want to win is beautiful way. So, okay, in classical game, of course, you will calculate this because you have a lot of time. But imagine you play blitz, yes? You don't have time, you don't have knowledge. So you can be disappointed or miss the direction. I am Andras, thank you very much. Welcome. So knight c4 is a very strong check here. Obviously, king has only square here. And now not knight b4 directly because this hangs, but knight b8 is a very strong move. Look at this beauty in the position. So if queen g5, we simply give mate in one. You see this b4 mate. And after knight b2 to eliminate this pawn, bishop e3 mate. Yeah. So this is a refutation of this move of knight f2. So once again, if you take knight f2, you take bishop g6, knight d1, bishop f7, king e7 check, king d7 check, and after this, knight ba3. Protect, control this square, control knight, and then b4 mate. Or you grab here. Let's say after a5, you take there, and you have, I don't know, completely winning position. Yeah. This you have to know. In Ponziani. There is another lines of Ponziani. I can show you. For example, you are black. Let's flip the board and start from beginning. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and somebody played c3 with you, yeah? And you're an active player. You want to uh, have initiative from beginning. So d5 is the move. But after this move, it's very responsible. You have to know. I played this with white. Thank you, Krasbes, for following. And my main move was here d3, and then I was playing Philidor with extra tempo of c3, right? With Philidor reverse the color in the first hand, because with black I also have same setup, like e4 d6, d4 knight f6, knight c3, e5, same position, but my pawn imagine on c6, so which is quite very useful. Yeah, and queen f4 is the main line of this Ponziani line setup with white, which I don't like. And for example, d knight e5 and queen d5 here, very active move, using that this pawn took the place for knight. You never can attack queen, and we attacking the knight and at the same time protecting our knight. This is a main move. And for example, if opponent play bishop b5, attacking. Now obviously queen e5, bishop 6, it's you losing the pawn here, because you have to go king d8, then queen e4, you lost the pawn, and probably the game. After bc, you lost this exchange here. So knight e7, the main move, protecting one more, and now queen e5 is a threat. That's why white plays. Imagine if white here plays f4, which seems to be a very risky move. So you can in blitz make such interesting traps here. You can play bishop d7. Now you are forcing this knight to take this bishop. 1 second, guys. I will close this window. It's too much loud. Okay, hope it's better now. So after knight d7, king d7 seems to be strange, but we don't want to lose the pawn after queen d7, queen e4, right? King d7, and we compensate with our development that our king in the center here and don't have castle possibility. This is very concrete position. And for example, opponent play castle here, which looks white's play looks very logical, but they weakened king side. So how we use it now? We play knight f5. What is the threat? What do you think, guys? Thank you for following. For example, I'm white and I play this. How you can punish me here? Yeah, please, strong opponents. If you find this or know it, don't write it in the chat. Let's others think and offer. I understand that our chat has high quality, some players, but please keep it in mind if you know it or see it very quickly. Red Fossey, you're right, but what is the idea? You see the check, but when you see the check and make it, what you have? What you have and after it? For example, you give me check, I go here. Then what you do? Why knight h3 is bad move? Yes, Red Fossey. This is a punishment. bishop c5, king h1, knight g3, ag, and all of a sudden you get the mate here. So one second, let me read Flag Gamer. I have a funny story about the Ponciani. A friend of mine once played it at a local youth tournament. He was rated only 100, 1100, okay, and he tricked an 1800 rate opponent into taking on e4, winning a knight with queen e4. So the opponent resigned immediately. Also, you should not open would have won any. You mean which line? Where he took knight on e4? I don't understand. Which moment? In Ponciani, you can take knight on e4. Do you remember? Maybe something like this. Maybe it was something like knight f6. What is logically how we can go there? Something like this maybe. So maybe he played d6. Then for some reason was something like this maybe. But where this queen go? Maybe here, and then he took and check, but it's too artificial. This is too artificial for me. Something like this it was maybe. Because in Ponciani it's very hard to do it. Are you sure it was Ponciani? Maybe it was something another. Okay, so um, that was a continuation. Imagine queen e4, de, knight e5, queen d5, bishop b5, knight g7, f4, bishop d7, knight d7, king d7, castle, knight e5. So we know the threat of bishop c5, knight g3, queen h5 mate. So imagine opponent play b4, controlling this square here. And f5 strong move. And if opponent played king h1, what do you think? How you continue with black here? Konkitsai, hello. What? What means e6? I don't understand. Queen e6, or what do you mean? Or king e6? Yeah, but knight fast back artists. Knight g3 is not mate, right? Is he take ag, queen h5, king g1? Where is mate? So what? How you punish opponents by force here? Okay, Arsene. Yeah. So after AB is the direction, right? We attacking the rook, and this is not the blunder. This is a sacrifice. So what you do next move here? Yes, FG a gamer. Bishop, no, Kokitsa, Queen B5. Yes, you can take the bishop, and you have very strong initiative. Yeah, but Bishop C5 is the move, even stronger. You are attacking the queen and sacrifice another rook, and now you make check and mate. This is how you punish the opponent who don't care about opening, about development in the opening. Okay, now I want to show you the beginning, which doesn't have name, no name opening. So imagine you are white, you play d4, e5, knight f3, some bullet chess, for example. Imagine you play bishop c4 and preparing for or defense, two knights defense, or Italian, or Hungarian, or something else. But all of a sudden your opponent play knight d4. Look at this move, guys. Looks completely stupid. So how you would continue here with white? Oleos, thank you very much for your subscription. Appreciate, man. Thank you very much. I think you are new. I don't remember your account name. Confirm if you are new. And once again, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, who knows this? Indie writer. If you know this, don't say it, right? I mean, we understand that you know, but asking for whom don't know this position. Imagine some grandmaster or some international master will enter the chat and say all variations. I mean, this is not interesting, right? Oleos. Okay, okay. I just don't remember that you've been involved in any discussions. First time I see, I guess, your name. Or maybe I missed just. Mantiha Tasi, where I'm from, right? I'm from Republic Georgia. Don't mix up with state of Georgia in USA. Okay, I see Oleos. So here is a like best continuation after this move. It's simply take on d4, ed, and play castle or c3, and we will have much better development. So knight d4 is better, but it has poison. For example, in bullet chess, you definitely can maybe use it and shock your opponent. For example, you are black now. We will flip it. We will flip the board, and you played knight d4 just for fun. Yes, and same time for trap. And your opponent take on e5. What happens here? Who knows this line? Please don't say. Rider on the Storm. Probably you are the big fan of Doors, as I understood, right? I like it very, very much. Riders on the Storm, yeah, very nice melody. Thank you for following. I like also um, Blondie versus Doors, Rapture Riders. This version of the song, very cool. Did you know? Did you see it? Very nice. They made it very nicely. It calls, I think, Rapture Riders. Yeah, yeah. I like the clip. Very nice one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this opening doesn't have name because it's bad opening for black. Because of after knight d4, you can take on d4, then castle, or that immediately c3 and have better development. But imagine you want to trick opponent in bullet chess, it's definitely you can play, right? And your opponent reflexively take this pawn and thinks that you simply blunder it or something. How you continue after this? Yeah, if you know it, please don't say. Arnito, yes. Queen g5, very unpleasant idea behind this. Not queen h4, because after queen h4 he will castle. Imagine, he will castle and the threats still remain. So queen g5, it's kind of you asking our opponent what you want to do. You give me a piece or you continue be greedy. So here, by Paul Keres analyze, it was all done. Paul Keres, one of the greatest player in history. He was just unlucky that he was playing his best chess in the era of Mikhail Botvinnik. Otherwise, he would definitely become champion. Here, very complex game arises after bishop f7 check, which probably is the best move, and after king d8 or king e7, let's say, according to Keres, white plays uh, castle, sacrifice the piece, and after queen e5, uh, you can take on g8, rook g8, and then c3 and create this strong center here. And very complex position, but this is not what white wants from the opening still. And knight g4 is also not the solution because d5, look at this move. And we're attacking bishop and double attack to the knight. So you need to give um, the one of the piece and don't have enough compensation. But imagine opponent continue be greedy here, pull chess, and after this move, he takes bad move. This is direct mistake. So after this, you grab the pawn, attacking rook, and attack this pawn. And after queen g2, white has lost position because after knight h8, you take on e4, and after um, bishop e2, you can take on c2. Maybe actually you can do it much better reduction because this you can take queen c2, and knight c3 is still not so clear. Probably the best continuation here, take the rook first, force bishop f1, then we take this pawn, bishop e2, and then we take this pawn, right? Because now king f1 the same mate, and after queen c2 we see the huge difference, right? There is no rook on h1. Yeah, so this is just lost. And after moves like rook f1, you take queen e4, bishop e2, and just mate here. So when you know this line, you will not play it with white or with black. Up to you, of course. Yeah, this is a trap, only trap behind this knight e4. So knight e5 is a little bit dubious move, but after knight e5, queen g5, knight f7 is direct mistake. Only chance is bishop f7, then castle. Still keeping some game. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. Now we move to the one of the oldest classical system, which calls Spanish, or Ray Lopez, right? Uh, Russian call it Hispanskaya Partia, so it means Spanish game if we directly translate it. So it starts, of course, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5. Many centuries it was played, and still it's one of the main system in nowadays. And a6 move. So this move started with a6 Spanish opening, implemented by greatest greatest player from US, Paul Murphy. We all know his games. We all know that he was an uncrowned champion. So he implemented this a6, and nowadays it's the main line, right? So bishop a4, for example, knight f6, and knight c3 we play. So the main line is castle, but knight c3 is possible. Bishop c5, interesting move. Knight e5 we take, knight e5, d4 we can play with attacking both pieces. Bishop b4. Now we take this knight, knight e4, and queen d4. Looks the idea looks like mirror of Ponciani when black played queen d5, right? It's the same. Queen protects knights and attacks this. And knight c3, bc, and instead of to play as the best move bishop e7 here, and the next is castle. Yeah, imagine that opponent can play bishop a5 here, yeah, to still have pressure on this pawn. And now you don't play castle because he will also castle. And you play bishop a3, strong move. Looking here and not allow castle, this bishop, and not allow d6 or d5 ideas. And here, uh, probably it's already hard to play with black because, for example, b5, bishop b3, queen d5 is the threat, attacking rook and pawn, also queen f4. And instead of b5, imagine that your opponent play b6 here with either bishop b7 or c5 and close this bishop. Yeah, looks quite logical. But what happens after this, guys? How you can immediately punish how you can immediately punish suspicious, dubious play of black here. If he managed to play c5 and castles, he's more or less okay. After queen d5, Dr. Zug. I'm not sure I pronounce it well. You say queen d5. Yeah, possible, but it's not so convincing. You play c6, then you play queen d6, you play c5. Not super convincing for me. Um, yes, Aka first e4 or Saikar e6. Yes, e6 is the direction here. Look at this move. The point that this pawn is anti-attack. we cannot take, right? Queen g7, and then this rook is uh, loses here. And in case of queen f6 here, what we do here? We simply take bishop d7, check. He cannot take bishop with mate in 1, and after king d8, we give him check, and after queen d4, we give him mate. This is kind of not forced play from both sides, but can be useful, maybe. I want to show you one trap, which is well known in this line, but I was kid, I think, many years ago. I also been trapped like this. I lost a game like that. I think maybe I even cry. I'm not sure, but possibly I was crying. I was very little. So I will show you. E4, E5. I was white. How you not to have to play like me? Bishop D5, A6, Bishop A4, Knight F6, and we know that castle is the main. Uh, 1 second. Do you know Ghazal Rahman? Yeah, I know Ziaur Rahman from Bangladesh, but we cannot. I cannot say that we are friends because we are not communicating. So I know him like person. Okay, so and imagine knight c3 you play here, or let's say you are black and your opponent played knight c3. How can you trick the opponent in the opening? So you play d6 here, and now instead of make castle or play d3, your opponent played d4. This is how I played with white in that game. I remember. Looks very logical, right? To use the pin and this stuff. Thank you for tuning, Setrum. Appreciate. Looks very logical because attacking the pawn. I also want d5 some moments. So and after this, I was very happy in the opening, but all suddenly b5, the cold shower here, and now I was very uh, persistent with white, with the idea to put pressure in the center and played bishop b3, which is already a mistake. The best continuation is d here, and bishop b3 open and play, and this is a well-known trap here. You play knight d4, and now the best continuation could be bishop d5 maybe, and something like this, or maybe bishop e3 or something. But imagine that I was thinking what white want, what black wants. I just take and queen d4 when I was kid. I remember, and all suddenly c5 here, attacking the queen, and we lost the bishop because I have to go here and c4, and this bishop lost. So I remember I give this bishop for this, but I did not save my game. And after game, I was hardly crying that I was catch like this. Yeah. That was very pity. You see c5 and no ideas like bishop f7, queen d8 or something, or queen d8 because knight is here already. Yeah, this is well-known trap which you can actually catch uh, of beginners or not strong players who don't know the ideas. Now another trap by white. We flip the board and go a little bit back. No, actually we don't know. We don't go back. In this position, after castle, 1 second. Yeah, in this position, instead of knight c3, castle is the main line we play. And after b5, bishop b3, your opponent play bishop c5, for example, right? It's still playable nowadays. And knight e5 you take here. Justin Davis, what are the best opening to avoid any theory? By white, you mean? I don't know what is the best. I play b3 myself. I like it, if you want. But there is also theory, so almost everything is I mean, you want to avoid the theory and same time not to get worse position. That's very hard. So knight e5, d4 here, and after d4 we make fork here. We see, and in this position, imagine that you all suddenly your opponent in blitz played bishop d6, and now this is a problem. That after this move, you play d, bishop e5, and f4. You see the idea is that black cannot go anywhere, right? Knight is not on c3 to take it. No check because of queen. Only move is bishop d6 here, and now e5. We make the fork. Only move is to make the check, and we play king h1, and we see that this knight unfortunately doesn't have good squares to go here now, and black is losing the piece because whatever you play, knight e4 or knight g8, you will lose the piece after queen d5 here, attacking rook, pawn, and knight. And in case of knight g8, you play anyway queen d5, attacking bishop, pawn, and rook. So a minimum what you will lose will be probably rook here, because you need to defend it somehow. I don't know, with knight maybe, and you just take this rook and win the game. Yeah, this you have to remember, and you can catch somebody. For example, you are white and you start like this: knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle, and opponent don't play b5 or bishop e7, he play immediately bishop c5. What happens here? You can play c3 with idea d4 here, and for example, he took knight e4. Then what happens here? d4 you play, bishop a7, rook e1, attacking the knight, right? Very unpleasant pressure on black's position. And here, imagine that he wants to keep the pawn and plays a5. Or at least he wants to force you to take this knight and gives the bishop, because in case of d or knight e5, he will take knight e5, and then we see that bishop f2 is coming, right? This bishop and knight are looking here. And in case of bishop 6 dc, knight e5, castle, blacks are fine within this position. One way, my way. Thank you for following. Okay, maybe, yeah, castle, and after queen b3 we have also queen d5. So here black are okay. But in this position, white plays knight bd2. So we are not in rush to take back material. We are in rush to develop and for initiative. Hello, Weber boss. We are doing perfect. Knight d2, because d5 now follows knight e5, and there is a pin. So knight d2 opponent plays with happy face. Knight d2, and he thinks that he can keep the pawn on the board, right? Next move will be d5, and you are busted. But how can you punish here? What do you think? What you can do here? Strong players don't say anything. Weber boss, shh. We all know that you are strong. So we all see that 94 is suck, but you have to calculate what after that, right? What happens? For example, I took your knight. Then what you do? Bravo, you found one move, but next, what is next? Venkitesh 959. Thank you for following. Chill chess. Thank you for following. Chilling guy. Arsen, you think that is d5 punishment here? But what after 97? And after okay, for example, you take 94, f3, rook e4, king f8, queen f2, you say. What after king g8? How we win? Red Fossey, queen h5 when? Now or what do you mean? If we make check now, he play g6, you can play queen h6 with some compensation after uh, d5 or queen g7. Yeah, I understand, or king f7, but what is much more direct idea here with white? 94 is the beginning, after sack. So 94, f3, queen h5. For example, he plays g6. What happens then? And then he can go to g7 square after rook e4. 90 rook e4, queen h4. No, there is a continuation. 94 is a strong move, and black has two moves here: castle or fe. Both are losing. Fe loses, do a rook e4 check. So 97 is a bad move because of bishop g5. We see that he gonna lose this knight with terrible position. And in case of king f8 or king f7, does not matter. We give this check. And now queen f6 is loses to a rook f4, and we win this queen, right? So after king g8, bishop b3 check. This is the whole idea. d5, and then we take bishop d5. Queen d5, and mate here. This is what we have to know here. This is a direct winning. So that's why fe loses by f4. So imagine that opponent calculate, played castle. What we play here? What do you think? What is the best continuation? This is just Spanish opening. Or Ray Lopez. Venkitesh, this video will be uh, recorded on my Twitch channel about 2 weeks, and then I will upload it also on my YouTube channel. So for them who join later, you can always see. I cannot repeat it now, sorry. Yeah, bishop g5, the continuation here. You see that white with every move develop and same time attacking. So we see the queen e8, loses after knight f6 check, and we take this rook. I mean queen. So only move is knight e7 here. And after that, what happens? Thank you for following. Yes, Arsene. Knight g3 strong move here, guys. Rider on Rider on the storm. Knight f6 is just sacrifice without big idea. I just take this knight, and what do you want here? Yeah, it's funny, but for opponent. You will just grab your knight, play rook f7, play d5, and it becomes very unclear. Simple continuation is knight g3 here. We're using that this bishop is far, cannot protect the knight. Only move is rook f7. And now you have various victories here. Knight a5 or whatever. You can play even queen c2 here. Very uh, good move. Or even queen e2. Maybe even queen e2, and after king f8 you just grab this pawn, and after rook f5 you check and winning. Yeah, this is how you punish black for inaccuracy. Okay, next position. This is how we started. So e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle, bishop c5. So previous variation was after c3. So knight e5 now we can again. Knight e5, d4. And imagine instead of bishop d6 or other moves, your opponent check on e4. What happens now? Okay. Rook e1. You're attacking the knight, and all three pieces are under attack. d5 not possible because of pin. And for example, here your opponent played bishop e7. Try to cover this pin, right? Rook e4. This knight is under attack, and instead of playing knight g6, which is the best move here, he played this. Chess Master 120. Hello. So logical continuation, d5 of course, right? We not allow d5. So d5, we attacking this knight. What to do? Knight a7, right? Where else to go? Or knight b8. And after this, you play queen e2. Very unpleasant move. So you pin this bishop, and castle impossible because we take the bishop. d6 impossible because of this. And the best move probably in this position is play king f8, but we see that black's position is already dubious. Yes, they lost castle, they're behind the develop. But if they're persistently going to continue the play after b5 with either d6 and somehow develop bishops and so on, right? How can you punish here your opponent? Winning by force. What do you think, guys? Think a little bit. How you can punish here? Try to calculate from this position till the end. Chess master, if you are a real master, don't say anything because we understand that you see everything. Doctor, you are funny. You are not you are not obliged to do it. Okay, we all see the bishop g5 or d6 move, but give variations. d6 is not so precise because he will play cd, and then he has always knight c6 protecting his bishop after bishop g5. So what we do? Uh, Ganni Dormali. It's like a bishop g5, 6, bishop a6, queen h5. Yeah, continuation is correct, but you have much more stronger idea. Cock it's after bishop g5. Okay, so bishop g5 is a continuation because d6, cd, bishop g5, we see the difference. He has all suddenly the knight which was offside. Now he comes to play and things are not so clear. He will control this square and maybe we still better, but not enough. Bishop g5, that's how we start. We see that ba loses immediately after bishop e7, right? And we catch the queen here. So only move in the position is f6, right? And now, can you calculate till the end? Here is just mate by force. Or mate or just winning a huge material. When you know such variations, you just kill the opponent, right? Yeah, guys, you all see the idea, bishop f6, but you don't see the continuation. How you make the mate? Arsene, d6, cd, bishop b3, knight c6, queen f5, g6. Not clear variation, Arsene, because he can take immediately fg after d6, cd, bishop b3, fg. It's not super clear. Okay, so continuation is d6, strong move here. Obviously, fg loses immediately again because of d or rook e7 check and mate. Actually, mate here. Only move is cd. And now bishop f6. This is a strong continuation here. And what to do? Black has two moves, or gf or knight c6. Knight c6 loses very simply. Bishop g7 attacking the rook, and also mating is coming on h5 here. So he need to accept gf, and now you sacrifice this to open this diagonal. So you give this check, king f8, and bishop b3. This is the whole idea. And for example, d5, you take bishop d5, and now after queen e8, the threat is mate. After queen e8, you make this mate here. And after king g7, you have choice between queen f7, rook h4, and queen h5 mate, or better is rook g4, king f8, or and mate here or here, up to your taste. And this is how you punish the opponent. Okay, somebody in chat told me to show you variation after queen e2. Here we are, guys. You see, we have everything for you. Bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle. So the main move is bishop e7, knight e4. These lines. Thank you for following. So, but it's possible to play d6 and now queen e2. Very possible line. b5, bishop b3, knight f5. And here you play d4. So we played queen e2 to have this place for rook here. Rook can go here. So now more or less good continuation for black is to take knight b3, ab, then play knight d7, rook d1, something like f6, and try to hold this position, which is quite passive. And I'm not recommended to play like that because of you are behind development, you have problems. But for example, your opponent played bishop g4 here. How you can win material? What do you think? Somebody asked me what is my favorite line in first b3. I play b3 with white, so what do you mean? With black against it, or which line I like when they play against me? Иванов, привет! День добрый. Спасибо. Thank you for following. Yeah, so continuation of course is D here. And idea if D mistakes, then we take bishop f7 check here. And after king f7, knight e5, there's a check, and we take this knight, this bishop. But what do you after D? Black takes knight b3, attacking the rook. Of course, we have to take ab, and he takes D. Looks from first sight, looks the black is okay. But what you do here? Most happy I'm most happy when opponents play first move b3, they play d5, bishop b2, and bishop g4. This move I will never accept and understand. Dr. Schweitzenzug, I think you speak English quite decent, so you don't need to translate, no? Yeah, this is a punishment. We take this pawn here, you see? And in case of rook a6, we take queen b5 check and also take this rook, and we are two pawns up here. And if black takes bishop f3, of course we don't take queen f3 because we lose this rook. We take this pawn with check, then we exchange here and take this bishop. So more or less the best continuation probably will be rook b8, and you admit that you are with pawn down with better position for white after rook d1, bishop g5 or something. Yeah, this you have to also know. And now again you are with white and you play in blitz or bullet chess and you know theory better, and your opponent doesn't know. So he plays with black this line. Then he plays d6, which is quite logical. Rook e1, b5 he plays, yes, bishop b3, and he knows that in Spanish opening you need to eliminate this strong bishop, and he continues knight a5 with idea to exchange and develop, and black is okay. But in this position you play d4, of course, because white are ready for the action in the center, attacking this weak pawn. And for example here black makes mistake. We know that probably the best continuation is to take and knight d7. And after d, knight e5 to avoid queen d5 and with complex position. But imagine your opponent here took ed. What do you think? What is a continuation by white here? How you can punish your opponent immediately? Thank you for following, guys. Karen 1389, most probably you are Armenian guy. Hi, hi. I don't know many languages. I know Georgian, the second Georgian, my mother's name, mother's language. It's called Megrelian. Also, I speak good Russian, a little bit English, as you see, and I also speak and understand well Ukrainian and very little bit Spanish. That's all. Adam Adam Filan 11 played the game with 97% accuracy today, and I'm only 1300 in rapid. So good luck to be accused in cheating. And thanks to you, Baadur. Oh, thank you very much, man. How did I help you? Remind me, please. Maybe with some, maybe with some opening previous stream about openings. I'm not sure. Ah, okay. Okay, Adam. Nice to hear that I have thankful viewers. Really appreciate. So red foci, knight d4, it's normal move, of course. But first of all, you can face some problems after c5 or even takes and I don't know bishop this and bishop. Okay, it's not so super. It's not punishment, right? It does not smell like punishment. Punishment has to be something force. Yes, Ankoi Charles. e5, of course. e5. Look, the motive that rook looks to king, right? And we are well developed. So e5, we're opening the natural way for this rook, right? Rooks are working the best on the opening files. We know it, yeah? So why not to clean it for it? So e5. This king tell him, please open this line, attack me. Okay, we do. So e5, very unpleasant move. D, black has to take, otherwise what to do here? It will be discover check or here. So D, and we take knight e5. Now we're using the motives that this pawn is weak. And black, unfortunately, does not have chance to take on b3, do a of check on c6 here. And whatever you play, you lose this queen. And the game. And after only move bishop e6, you grab knight f7. This is what you do here. You're using this pin again, and black has to take, but after bishop e6, it's completely winning position here. What else to do here? For example, after king e8, you give check and take here, right? And after king g6, you simply play queen d3 check, uses his king in the open place, and you just give the mate here. For example, you go here, you simply check and mate in next move. Yeah, this is how you instantly punish opponents for careless play in the opening. Okay, for example, let's see um, open variation in Spanish opening. Uh, it was played. It was a game between Tarash versus Siegbert Tarash, the doctor from Germany, against Zuckertot in 1887. Let's see. So Tarash played e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle, knight d4. This is one of the main lines, d4, and b5. Before play uh, d5, you have to close this diagonal, right? So b5, bishop b3, d5. You are white, imagine. So this is well-known theoretical position, played many times we remember after in match between Karpov and Korchnoi. It was very popular line, so Karpov was using it with white against Korchnoi with good results. So c3. I know that Ivan Sokolov, the Bosnian grandmaster, um, I think he wrote book and he's one of the biggest expert in this line. Bishop e7, rook e1, castle, knight d4 you played. And now imagine the Zukertort lost game in 2 moves here. He blundered. So here knight e5 was a continuation with complex game, but he played queen d7. And what happened here? Ivanov, I think my highest rating was 2012, maybe it was 2734, I think. I was number 19 in that period, but then I lost a lot of ratings in past 2 years. Cold Blood Plays. I don't know if you are still here. I will read your question. Maybe it will be useful for others too. Baadur, nowadays I have a little problems with my openings. They are getting too sort of boring after the parts. For example, with white, I'm playing Queen's Gambit, Queen C2 Nimzo. Okay, quite solid line here. And with black, Queen's Indian. I like tactics, but also end games. What will you recommend? Probably you was study some classical games like Botvinnik or Kramnik and these games. Probably that's why you are playing such a lines. Um, if you would like to tactical and um, dynamical openings, you definitely with black you need to learn modern Benoni lines, Grünfeld or King's Indian. If you do it all together, it will be of course better, but it's very hard to learn, of course, everything. So choose something. Modern Benoni is still not refuted, very sharp lines. You can I recommend you if you want to learn modern Benoni games, you can start with uh, um, very talented Azerbaijani grandmaster, which unfortunately passed away. His name is Vugar Gashimov, and he played very well with black, modern Benoni, for example. And there is also few more players who play Papayanu, Pantsulaia. Yeah, by the way, tomorrow uh, I'm going to stream and I will invite to the stream my brother. He's also international master. His name is Beglar, and we will comment together the Norway chess. They have today free day tomorrow, and same time we will chat with you. Maybe you will have possibility for subscribers also to play with my brother on leeches, and I will comment these games so we can make fun and same time comment Norwegian games. Yeah, okay. So here after queen d7, Бааdur, гуси намного безопаснее сейчас просит у них. Уже там вроде, почему уже смотрю? Не знаю, я не политик, так что. Понятно, что Россия никогда не даст турнир президентов в Грузии, я думаю. Это все звездеж. Будет он в Екатеринбурге, как и раньше. Okay, so after queen d7, knight e6. This is what he blundered here. And the point that after f3, simply rook e4, right? And here's the pin. And after queen e6, he resigned after rook e4, right? Because here is the pin. Terrible blunder. This is how Ritsuka lost here. Yeah, here is one more trick which you have to know in this line with black. So if you are black, you have to know how not to play. So bishop e5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle, knight e4, d4. Again, this opening variation Spanish. D. Ah, no, not D. Sorry. In this position, imagine that you're black and you open play a4 here. Knight d4 now leads more or less equal game, but you b4 played. And after a5, in this position, let's flip the board. Bishop e7 looks natural move, but it's actually mistake in this position. Again, probably should play knight d4, but if you play bishop e7, they're very unpleasant d here. So we attacking this pawn now, and now in case of knight c5 we simply lose the pawn, but if we protect it, there is a whole idea. We play bishop a4, very unpleasant pin. We see this pin here, and all of a sudden we lose the material, because bishop d7 we lose the pawn, and after queen d7, knight d4. You have to remember, when opponent plays a4 a5, he wants to pin you like this and win the game. Yes, this is very unpleasant trick here. Okay, now we move to queen e2 move. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle, bishop e7, and queen e2. I also played it, I think, a few times in my career. Very interesting move. Not so popular like other lines. Thank you for following. And for example, the opponent play castle here. They should play or b5 or d6 first. After castle, this is how you can punish opponent. You take here dc and knight e5. And your opponent probably thought that he can recapture the pawn after queen d4. But cold shower after this move, you simply go back knight f3, attacking the queens. Now he has to admit that he lost the pawn and go back, right? And then you play d3 and just have healthy pawn up. But if he takes here, you take here and play rook e1. And all suddenly here's a pin. And whatever he plays, bishop a5 or a5, next move is d3, and he loses this bishop here, d3. Now bishop e4, you can play c3 or even take here. c3 is the best. Yeah, this was very unpleasant. Okay, very complex lines here. We don't need super complex lines. We need something much more easy and good for fast controls. Okay, the martial attack I will not show because it's really complex and it has tons of variations. Let's move for something else. Okay, for example, you are a big fan of Spanish line with black. So what we do? e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5 here, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle, bishop e7, the main line, rook e1, d5, bishop b3, d6, c3, and you play knight a5 directly. Bishop c2 and c5 here. d4, queen c7, protecting the pawn. This is more logical with black when you make castle and then h3 is input, but can be playable. And now your opponent wants to punish you of this play, and he sees that you're not castle, not ready, and he wants to play f4. Now is a threat AB, AB, and b4, right? And then there is a pin. So after that you play rook b8, he takes AB, AB, and he takes D, D. For example, now knight bd2 is probably best continuation to transfer this knight somewhere, or g3 or e3. But what if he takes knight e5 here? What's going on? Now we take queen e5, and he takes rook a5, right? And it seems like white has just pawn up here. But after that, knight g4 here. Very unpleasant move. So we're attacking this pawn. Now white has two moves, f4 or g3, right? In case of g3, very unpleasant queen h5, attacking the pawn again. And after h4, g5, with very strong attack here, right? Because the pieces are far and misplaced, and now gh and really huge attack here. And in case of f4, what we do here? Queen c7 we go. And all suddenly we're using that this rook is under attack here. And white has to lose tempo. So we provoked f4, the weakening of this diagonal, and after queen c7, rook a1, we play c4 now. And we use this that this diagonal is extremely weak, and white cannot cover it. And what to do? The threat is bishop c5 and fork, so rook e2. White plays, And after that, queen b6 check, very unpleasant. After king h1, you simply lost the exchange here. So king f1, for example, he played. Then you take knight h2, king e1, and queen g1 check. Look at this check here. King d2 and not exchange, of course. Knight f1 check here. King e1 and knight e3, and we just grab this queen. This is how you punish your opponent if you'll be too active in the opening. For example, you are white and these are moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5, e6, bishop e4, knight f6, queen e2. You don't want to go any kind of sacrifices. Bishop c5 and c3 line. For example, here was line bishop c6 instead of. And in case of dc, you can take knight e5, and after queen d4, knight d3. Black cannot recapture the pawn because queen e4 is knight c5, and knight e4 is knight c5 and queen e4. But after bishop 6, probably b6 is a strong knight e5 and castle. And then rook e8 and d5 with strong initiative for pawn with good compensation. But you don't want that. You don't want to give initiative to opponent. You want to play c3. So, what's going on after that? Thank you for following. b5, for example, the opponent play here, right? To avoid these kind of ideas forever. Then you play bishop c2. And now the logical continuation is castle. But maybe your opponent wants to take initiative immediately. And he wants to start action in the center, and he played d5 to force you to play d3, then castle, and so on, right? But in this position, after d5, you take ed, using that this king is under pin. And if he plays queen d5 here, you play d4, using this pin, and after bishop d6 to protect this pawn. What do you play here? How you can win this game immediately? What do you think, guys? Can happen in some blitz game. Okay, strong opponents don't say, right? Strong players don't say. Yeah, that's the idea. You play bishop b3 here. So using that queen cannot go back. What to do? Queen e4 is only move, and then you take queen e4, knight e4, and bishop d5. And all suddenly you cannot protect both knights, and you lose the game here. So probably best play something like bishop d7, just play like this. But of course, you are without the piece. Zen mode chess. What do you think? What do you think for which level this show? All right. Let me go for next. This is simple chess traps. How you can punish immediately and what you have to avoid. This, of course, this is not for top players, right? This kind of course. right? I guess we need to go to some another lines because the Spanish becomes a little bit boring, I guess. Let me choose what to show you next. In Spanish, so much lines, crazy much lines. For example, this line I want to show you. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Let me 1 second, let me see. Okay, for example, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6 instead of a6, castle, knight d4. This line is also very popular. We know that d4 it leads to Berlin system after knight d6, d, and so on. I mean bishop 6, d, queen d8. But there is also line rook e1 here. Knight d6, and we know that knight e5 is the main line. Then black takes, bishop f1, and even top grandmasters play nowadays a lot of games. Normally it's black has to play for equal here, but the opponent can play knight c3 here. Bishop e7 now is normal continuation, but what happens after knight b5 here? You can trap the opponent. You play knight e5 here, and now knight c3 is a mistake. In case of knight e5 here, you play rook e5, bishop e7, and knight d5. You see that this rook and knight attacking this bishop. For example, here is the two moves, d6 or castle. In case of castle, white takes on e7, king h8, and can play queen h5 move. And now the threat is queen h7 and rook h5 mate. This is the threat. And for example, if black plays g6 here, you play queen h6 here. The threat is after d6 to give mate after rook h5, and after gh, mate here. Beautiful mate here. And what to do after queen h6 here? It's no defense. In f6 we take here. So that's why black tries to play d6, but rook e7 check. King f8. And what's going on here? Queen f3, very unpleasant move. We are attacking this pawn. Bishop e6 is away here. In case of f6, very unpleasant is queen h5, but also it's possible d3 here, guys. With idea to take and then bishop h6 and knight f6 mate, right? Because it's not so strong because of h5 here and rook controls. It's still advantage for white, but not so good uh, like uh, like after f6 queen h5 move. So we're threatening the mate, and there is no defense here. Probably black has to give this bishop. In case of g6 we give check and mate here. Yeah. After d3 or stanovevo, we will give this check and give this check and just mate him here. Yeah, this is the idea. the queen f3. I'm just thinking now, what if we play bishop e6 actually here? This is strong move, right? Defense, and after rook e6 there is a fork. I just found it out. So this is maybe not so super strong as it seems. Queen f3 move. Bishop, because bishop e6 is threatening bishop d5. Who is winning here? Yeah, this looks like blunder. Let me think what was the best solution here. Rook e7, king f8. Queen f3 for me looks like blunder after bishop e6, rook e6, knight d4. Kirusha, I'm always this black. I always play with black and lose it. Yeah, that's quite painful. Maybe this was playable actually. Just thinking now, because I'm not using this engine, so it can be some mistakes. Maybe d4, bishop e6, right? I don't see continuation here better than rook e1 actually. c4, he will anyway play knight d4. C4, then you want to take care. Maybe c4, right? But bishop e6 anyway. What we do then? And he wants to take care, and this is under attack. I don't like this. So queen f3 is bishop e6 probably, right? What I'm missing? Rook e6, knight d4. So probably rook e1. It's still advantage for white here, of course, because king bad position is weak. Then we develop like d4, c3, and this bishop is stronger. Yeah, okay. All right. This is some little things. Let's go to different things. Yeah, I forget to show you this line. 1 second. The line that if instead of yeah, instead of 95, if he takes here, what happens after knight c3 here? Where is this line? So you simply take knight c6 with check, which is that both pieces under attack. Bishop e7 is only move. And after bishop e7, you don't take the queen directly because of knight d1, right? And this knight is trapped. But knight e7 is very strong move here. And what to do? If king goes, we simply take knight and we have two pieces against one. And in case of knight d1, we have this very unpleasant check here. Knight g6. And only move king e7, and after knight e7, white is winning the piece here. Because king d8 we can take and then take this knight. Yeah. This is unnecessary lines for both sides, of course. But can be. Can happen in the game. Alright, let's move to another line. Yeah, for example, there was game between Zigbert Tarash versus Marco in 1892. So it was played like this. Knight f3, knight 6, bishop b5, and immediately d6 Marco played. d4 Tarash rigged very logically. Bishop d7, knight c3, knight f6, castle, bishop e7, rook e1. This was played between Lasker Blanca in the match in Havana in 1921 also. Many times Lasker was taken ED and with complex game. Not Lasker, I mean Capablanca was usually used it with black. But what happens after castle here, which is dubious move? This is, can be trick here. So bishop takes on c6, bishop takes c6, you take on e5. We see that black cannot take twice here because we also protect twice. So they take on e5, and now not knight e5 because of queen d1 and then take here. But queen d8 we take. Yeah. Rook a d8. In next game we will see rook f d8 here. So rook d8, knight e5, attacking the bishop. If knight takes on e4, we take the bishop and then take on e7, we check. And if black takes bishop e4, what happens here? We take knight e4, knight e4, and now black thinks that they are okay because after rook e4, they're mating 2. And if we simply develop the on f4, he will go back with normal position. But knight d3, strong move. Now knight is hangs. What to do here? f5 is only move. And now f3, attacking the knight. Only move is bishop c5. What else to do? Otherwise bishop hangs. We take knight c5. In case of king f1, here, I guess he can go bishop b6, and after take, check, and knight f4, he can play g5, and it's not clear position. He will take here, and black is okay. After king h1, he has rook d3, knight f2, or directly knight f2. So the whole idea behind variation to take here, take, and bishop g5. This is the idea, attacking the rook. For example, if rook d7, after bishop b7, black loses the exchange because this rook attacked and this knight, and you cannot protect both. Same will be after rook d8. So rook d5 is logical to protect, but after it, bishop e7, rook e8, and c4. This is how you punish the black. If rook moves, you take the knight, so he has to sacrifice, but obviously it's completely lost position in the end game. This rook is completely destroyed black's position. But what happens if irregular position? If black plays rook f d8. If we play now same, knight e5, bishop e4, knight e4, knight e4, knight d3, f5, f3, bishop c5, and if we take, we see the same position. Now he can play rook d7 and there is not rook on f8 anymore. You see the difference. But white plays king f1 in this position, and we use that rook is not this rook not on f8, and he doesn't have this discovered check here. And now what to do? Rook f8 only move. Try to take after f check. But after that, we can play king e2, strong move. Look at this move, avoiding this, and knight cannot go because of bishop. And after king e2, bishop b6, fe. We can play knight f4, and after g5, knight h3, covering this square. And after g4, knight e4, white is win piece and we win the game. This is a trap. Okay, there is another line. After rook a8 in on king e2, we simply take fe, rook e4, king f3, and we are piece up because knight from d3 protects e1 rook. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b6, d6, d4, bishop d7, knight c3, knight f6. And this position we just seen castle move, but here is also line bishop c6 move. You're welcome. Bishop 6 and queen d3. With idea to keep this king in the center, maybe we'll go to long castle. Now it's threatening to take, right? Because this pawn protects the queen. So ed, knight d4, and for example, opponent makes mistake, g6 move here. Probably best is bishop e7 with either simply castle. But g6, he wants to put it on long diagonal. What happens now? Milan to 2800. Thank you. Or maybe grazie, I have to say. Maybe you're Italian. So bishop g5 move happens. Very unpleasant pin. Bishop g7. And now we use that. We did not castle, so we go to long side. And now if black makes mistake again, if they make castle here, maybe a little bit better was in this position to play queen d7 to avoid this pin. But if black continues play carelessly, what happens here? What do you think, guys? How can you punish black for this few inaccuracies in the opening? Yeah, on ICC today is Chicago Open, right? Online, but it starts. I think it starts like 5:30 for US time, but for me, for me it will be I guess like 2:30 or something, or maybe 4:30 even. For me it will be early morning, so I will not play it. For some reason, Internet Chess Club and or American organizers absolutely don't consider uh, European players because other US organizers they was finding normal time. I mean, like I don't know, it was maybe for Americans 10 morning, 11 morning, but for us it was like 8 evening, 9 evening, 10 evening, but not like 3 morning and so on, right? So what is the idea, guys? Here, how can you win the exchange by force? Maybe even more than exchange actually. I'm thinking now again. Probably you can win the piece here, if I'm not wrong. So continuation is knight c6, bc, and e5. Look at this line. So now black has two moves, or take or h6. H6 is doesn't help them because we take and take twice, right? So d is only move, and now you can choose between win the exchange up to this line, which is completely winning endgame because he cannot protect, and this is winning. After knight f2, we play rook f1, attacks the knights, and this bishop takes care, and these three pawns connected with rook and bishop will smash black position. But I guess you can also play maybe queen f3 here. I'm thinking attacking the queen. What to do? Only move is queen e7 to protect the knight, then knight e4, and he cannot protect this knight. I have gifted. I've been gifted some by Donald Trump. Okay, a similar idea. What I will show now, we already seen in first stream about opening. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, d6, d4, bishop d7, knight c3, and knight g7, for example, black plays here. To play knight g6 and bishop e7 and so on. Bishop c4, very unpleasant move here. The threat is knight g5, as we see. And now probably the best move is to play h6, but still black's position is quite passive here. But what if he plays ed here? With the idea after knight d4 to take knight c6 and develop bishop d7. What happens here? Thank you for following. White takes knight d4. And now if black makes direct mistake here, probably the best continuation is take a knight c6. And white has preferable position. But what if black plays g6 with logical move, with either bishop g7 attacks the knight, then castle and so on. Unfortunately, it doesn't work here. Yeah, bishop g5, unpleasant pin, bishop g7, queen f3, gm camel rider doesn't work because of knight e5, queen f6, rook g8, maybe it's not so convincing. I will play bishop g7, but bishop g5 is very unpleasant move. With idea after h6, I can go on here. So bishop g7 and knight d5. You remember the similar idea in first stream. So now is a threat. For example, after castle, I can take knight c6 using that this is pinned, and then we take this knight. And what happens after bishop d4? What was the whole idea of white? Yes, guys. Queen d4 here. Look at the sacrifice. Queen attacking rook. If you take here, will be check and mate here. Look at this idea. If black plays castle, you give check, king goes to h8, otherwise after king g7 it will be check here and queen g7 mate or knight h5. And after king h8, you can go queen c3 with big advantage, but the best is knight h5. Sorry, not knight h5, knight g4 here. Check. After f6, bishop f6, queen f6 mate. So after knight d4, you give the check and mate from this side. So these three pieces completely destroy, smash black's position. This is how you can punish opponent for slow play in the opening. There is also one line where black has to be very careful, and you have to know it. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, d6, d4, bishop d7, knight c3, knight f6, castle. And now we know that ed is the main move, the bishop is, but if opponent wants to develop the bishop from this side, he thinks that his center is okay. Bishop c6 you take here. Now bc simply leads to loses a pawn, right? So bishop 6 you have to take. D you take. Now black has two moves, knight e4 or d, otherwise just without pawn. So after d, very unpleasant queen d8. In case of king d8 we take knight e5, attacks the bishop and also fork here with wing position. So rook d8, knight e5. Now in case of bishop e4, you have two logical moves, this or this, otherwise your pawn down. In case of bishop e4, very unpleasant bishop g5, attacking this bishop, this knight, and you want after bishop g7 take on e4 and then take this rook. And after bishop e7, with idea bishop f6, knight e4, and take this knight. You play simply rook e1, and black's position is lost because this bishop cannot be uh, defended. And in case of bishop a5, you can at least take on f6 and keep check and take this rook. So after bishop b4, bishop g5 wins. So knight e4 looks logical, but so we simply take on c6, attacking the rook. We cannot take bc because of knight e4. He has to play knight c3, but after that, rook e1 check, king d7, and knight d8 with winning. We have rook. This also hangs. Yeah. So after this line, d is a bet. So knight e4, like thinks that they can return the pawn and develop after with bishop d7. But you take on d6 here. What to do? Knight d6 is bet to have rook e1 and bishop g5 and some big pressure. But knight c3 looks good, but rook e1 check here. King d7 is bet to have knight e5 or even simply bc with strong attack here. After bishop d6 you can check and then take here. So only move after that is knight e4. The bishop e7 looks very tricky move with idea with hope that white takes rook e7, but you have queen e7 intermediate move, and all suddenly black is winning, right? Because knight attacking queen and we are rook down. But after bishop e7, the good move is queen d4 here, attacking the rook, and now we have this idea in mind. And in case of castle, you simply take d with fork, and after queen d4 you take rook with check and then take here, and we are with extra rook on the board. So after ed, knight e4 is only move, and now queen d4 anyway. We are attacking the rook, very unpleasant threat. Probably the best idea f6 with the chances to somehow defend the position this here. But rook g8, for example, opponent doesn't want to. He thinks that he can develop and he's okay. But in this position, the punishment comes from this variation: rook e4 check, bishop e4, queen e4. Obviously, bishop e7 leads to losing of material. So king d7 opponent can play, but knight e5 check, very unpleasant. And king c8. In case of king d6, there will be knight f7 check with fork. In case of king e6, there will be knight c6 and then take. And after king c8, what we do here? How you can win by force here, guys? Can you find? GM Kamel, you found the right idea, d7, king b8, knight 6, but after bc, the bishop looks to b4 square, so there is not mate. How can you improve that idea? Very pretty variations here. Knight f7, queen d7, knight e5 wins, you right. White wins, maybe it wins, but for example, if I play queen f5, why it wins, or queen e6? It's not so super clear for me. Maybe queen f5. Maybe it also wins somehow, but very. How can you win it pretty here, beautiful way? So d7 you play here, check. Obviously, king queen d7 is not possible. King b8, and now we see that knight c6, bc, queen b4 doesn't work, right? Because of bishop. Queen d5 strong move. So the threat is knight f7, and queen goes, then d8, right? So what to do here? After queen d5. In case of bishop d6, there will be check. bc and check, and we give mate with queen and pawn only. And in case of c6 here, very beautiful idea. Bishop f4. I like this move. Look at this idea, guys. And after cd, double mate here. Knight c6. Yeah, was very tricky. Boom, yeah. Bishop f3, exactly like atomic bomb. Okay, so e4 now. We are white, and we can have very possible line in our game in blitz or bullet, right? Ed, opponent takes, knight d4, bishop d7. He don't know theory, main lines, and he wants to try to avoid with this ed, not to blunder on e5 pawn. He wants to change the develop, right? Looks logical. Knight c3, knight f6. Both sides play logical, and now you take bishop 6 here. And he hears somewhere or reads that pair bishops are strong in open position, so he don't want to give it for this knight, and he keep it on the board with bc. And you play queen f3. And now he sees that you put pressure on him, right? Maybe you want e5, knight c6 or something, and he wants to play c5, push away this knight. You play knight f5 here. And now maybe he feels that this knight annoys him very much. And he plays logical g6 move, right? It's very possible, very common, it can be in your game, this move. Maybe it's already bishop a5 is necessary here, because this knight really puts so much unpleasant threats after bishop g5, long castle, and he jumps on different squares. Very unpleasant knight. So bishop f5, queen f5, maybe then bishop e7, castle, and white has some advantage. But g6 looks from first side logical. How can you punish now your opponent? By force. If you simply retreat on e3 or g3, he will really get normal position after bishop g and castle. So what you doing here? What tactical ideas you have here? Yeah, e5 is interesting option, but not the smartest way. Knight rip, after knight d5, he will simply take here, and then take this knight, this or this. Knight h6 looks interesting move, but not the best again. Once again, I repeat, it's not like punishment. He can maybe exchange, then play knight g4, kick you out with this bishop, and then make castle. You will have some positional advantage, nothing more. But how you can win material here? King d1 with either gf, ef, and rook e1. Original idea, but it's not doesn't seems to be enough, because he will play bishop g7 after ef and play king f8. So I don't see any victory here. Yeah, Nanuka, bishop g5 is the correct idea here, but after gf, not knight d5, because he will play bishop g7, and he's okay, or bishop e7. So this is a beautiful move here, bishop d5. Obviously, black has to accept after bishop a5, ef, you have much better position. I mean, long castle and smashing black's position. So gf, and now e5. This is a, yeah, we have to add that bishop e7 doesn't work here, because knight e7, queen e7, and this hangs. So gf and e5, this is what we're using. We're using this pin, and at the same time we use that after d, we take bishop f6, we're attacking these two pieces, and after queen f6, this is all suddenly. Queen a8, we are winning here. Exchange up and completely destroy position. After queen d8, we are not obliged to even exchange. We can take on a7, then rook d1, and yeah, so e5 is very unpleasant move here. And after e5, what to do? Black has to take d, right? Nothing else they can do. And bishop f6, for example, they can play e4 here. Looks from pure side, attacking the queen. But we're not going bishop for bishop d8, ef, bishop c4 for endgame. Of course not. Knight e4 is the idea here. Forcing to take, we give check, and after bishop e7 we take here, and we see that position completely destroyed. We have exchange and pawn and also attack. The game is simply over. I want to show you a very beautiful game now. It's very famous game, old classical game, and let's see it from the black side. Game was played between Andersen and Lange. So it was played in 1859, quite a long time ago. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and knight d4. Very possible move. I see some strong players also play this. Knight d4, ed, and Andersen played bishop c4. Yeah, avoids some c6 tempo or queen g5. But of course, more reasonable to simply make castle. Lange plays knight f6, attacking the center, preparing d5, and queen e2, suggested by Keres, is probably the best what he thinks. But Andersen plays e5. Maybe that's why he played bishop c4. He wanted to play e5 and take this square from knight. But Lange answers with threat to threat, right? So he plays d5 and same time develops bishop b3. And now they go for very brilliant attack here. I'm not saying that this was like without mistakes or something, but looks very beautiful. Bishop g4, attacking the queen. So only move is f3. And knight e4. Look at this move, guys. Every move, black sacrifices something. After fg, he wants to give check, g3, and take this. Yes, after that, castle he played. What Lange played here? Think a little bit. What is in spirit of this game? Which move? Rip u88, bishop c5, d3. He will play and you will lose the piece. Oh, we have very strong player in our chat, Andrei Makovey. Привет, Andrei. Hello. Of course, I know you know this game. So look at this d3 move, guys. So Rip, you had a good idea behind bishop c5, but technically you did it incorrectly because white not obliged to take this piece. So he can play d3. Yes, and you see that he blocked this bishop, and now black is in real trouble. D3, the idea here. Look at this beautiful variation. So finally Andersen took fg, bishop c5 check, king h1. What happens now? Andrei, if you find, don't tell. I want to. Uh, yes, this is more like this stream and this what I had in first part of about openings before. This is more like I count about I don't know like 1600 till 2100 maybe 2000 rating players, just random openings ideas. Come on, guys, concentrate. When I tell you to think, it means think, not to immediately write something. You remind me some like kids in a classroom which immediately say something when teacher asks something. I believe you are not kids, at least a lot of. Yeah, what is continue the spirit of this game. Come on, don't reduce it. We see that we every move Lange was sacrificing piece. Yeah, he finally sacrificed. Now, come on. Of course, we don't consider options like castle, right? This is so boring. Yes, knight g3, of course. Look at this sacrifice here. Knight g3. Another piece sacrificed. hg and queen g5. So the mate in one is coming, right? What to do here? Only move is rook f5. Rook f5 and h5. Look at this attack. Crazy game. Obviously, rook g5 loses after hg. Rook h5 is simply mate. Look at this beautiful mate. All this is like statists on other side of queen on the map. So after h5, Anderson was probably in shock here. So he played g8. You know, we have to remember that in the 19th century, in the 18th century, there was another kind of chess. They've been like knights, you know, like knights, old time knights. They to avoid the fight, the open fight, it was like shameful for them in that period. So that's why they was creating such a games like Andersen, Kizeritsky, this game and a lot of other games because they was accepting the sacrifice or answering with sacrifice to sacrifice, but never play too solid. You know, nobody was caring about to defend positions. They was going to uh, direct open fight. Yeah, so h5. He played gh only move, not to get mated instantly. So finally, Lange not only sacrifice, finally he captures. Yeah, first capture of the game for Lange, I guess. So queen f5. Now rook h5 is a mating idea. g4 only move, and queen f2. Another mating idea. Queen h2 here. He played g3. Also was possible actually in this position to continue in spirit of the game. Take here, h and queen e4. This was the idea, and queen h4 mate is coming here, and there is no defense. For example, if you play queen f3, we give check here. Queen h3, we give check here, and mating in 3. Check and check. And look at this knights. Yeah, this is like deserters from the army. They just run away from the army in the middle of battle, and they see how the king are completely raped here. Yes, deserters. These are deserters. They will not survive long. Yeah. So after that, yeah, this is really deserters. Yeah, they have having party in forest, hiding from guys. But queen f2, and now mate is coming. g3 is on the move. Queen g3 we take. Queen h3 is a mating idea, and after queen f1, queen g4. Lange took, and game is over. Anderson resigned. Probably like all time, he put his king on from h1 to squares g1 or g2 or somewhere. He just put it down. I believe that was how it was finished. Let me show you another ideas. Yeah, now I think very instructive trap in the opening by white, which can be very easily happen in the game, in blitz games for sure. So e4, you're white, imagine. e5 your opponent plays. Why cannot make moves? Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and knight g7, for example, he plays. Yeah, we know this idea. The idea to put knight on g6 and then develop and control d square. Or after a6, bishop 6 has knight c6. But it's a little bit artificial. Yeah, you close the bishop diagonal, natural diagonal. So c3 white plays with idea to create a strong center. d6 opponent plays, d4. It can happen, right, in your game. For example, it can happen when your opponent plays d6 and you play c3, he can play this and d4. This half also can be in the game. Bishop d7, logical move by black because they don't want to lose the pawn and they don't want to create weaknesses like this. So bishop d7 continues this careless play. Castle you make, knight g6. And now imagine this is, I'm not saying this is the best line for white. You can play like d5 and change then c4 and so on. But you want to trap your opponent, which don't know maybe it's knight g5. Look at this move. Some bullet chess you can definitely play it. So now probably black has to play bishop e7 or a6 or something. But they in bullet chess they can play h6, right? H6 looks interesting because maybe they don't want to allow this idea, queen h5, which looks very unpleasant. Yeah, and h6. And what happens now? What kind of trap here? Yeah, GM Camel, you are right with knight f7 idea, but you have to a little bit go further. What's going on there? Yeah, maybe you know it here. Milan, queen h5 is huge blunder because he takes ag and this rook is protected. Nanuka, you do same mistake. You forget about knight protects the rook. Bishop c4 is also a mistake because I take the knight. Yeah. So continuation is knight f7 actually. This is a sacrifice here. Imagine for bullet chess what a atomic bomb for opponent here. Yeah, I understand Nanuka. You just woke up. Interesting. Very interesting. Vinevu, thank you for subscription. Appreciate. I guess you are a new guy in our chat. I don't remember your name at all. Thank you very much. Ah, you are in USA. Okay. First I thought that you're Georgian because Nanuka is like Georgian, New York City. All right. So knight f7. King f7 has to accept, right? Otherwise we take the rook. Only move. Bishop c4 check. Very tricky check here. So what? Okay, you're Georgian in New York City. Perfect. So at least I was right in one thing that you are Georgian. Okay, so black has bishop e6, king e8, or king e7. In case of bishop e6, it's everything is clear. You play simply d5. It's even stronger, I guess. Then you can also take this material like this, and also with big advantage. But d5 is even more precise move because if bishop retreats, you will take this knight with the check. And if not retreats, you take this extremely strong bishop. So bishop e6 simply bad move. King f6 obviously is queen f3 and queen f7. So only two moves left, this and this. In case of king e8, you play queen h5, very unpleasant move, pinning this knight. Queen g5 impossible because of bishop. What to do here? Only move is queen f6 and then f4. White every move puts more and more power in the moves. So they want to open line, also f5 with a huge attack here. And for example, after ef, rook f4, what to do here? In case of queen g5, there is rook f8, check, and then we grab this queen. Queenie, poor queenie, and poor kingy. So after bishop c4, for example, he is greedy. He wants to keep this knight on. How you punish him? What do you think, guys? Thank you for following. Paul in New Jersey. Probably you don't like New York City, that's why you're saying it. New Jersey Devils versus New York Rangers. Thank you. So queen f3 is a good idea to give mate, but unfortunately doesn't work so much because he plays queen e8, protects, and then king runs away. Yes. Rodinsky? Yes, me too. I'm a big fan of NHL. But I like more New York Islanders than New York Rangers for some reason. Yes, yes, that's the point. Queen h5 is very strong move here, guys. Look at this move. We are attacking this poor 90, and unfortunately we cannot do anything with it. What can we do here? If he goes 94, we give mate. And look at this. If he plays queen e8 to be greedy, then you give not bishop g5 mate. Of course, you're more aesthetic person. You give this check, and two bishops killing this poor king here on the center, which surround us with this, um, you see, with these haters around him. It's like one, two, three, four Brutus around the castle. You cannot move. Yeah. In case of bishop e8, it will be same problem here, a little bit longer. I check here, hg, check, only move, and then we give this check, and again, so much Brutus here. You see, cannot move. This is how you can punish opponent in the opening. If you know such a tricks, lot of such a tricks, and refresh it before bullet tournaments or bullet games or blitz games, then you have advantage against your opponent. Was quite beautiful mate on g5. Aha, now we move into the another interesting line and very instructive opening, a very solid opening. It's called Petrov or Russian system. E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6. Me myself, I also playing it. I played it many games with black with good results actually. Bless Mother Russia. You are funny, GM Camel Rider. RIP 88, but do you know old strong trick now earlier on and became GM soon? Then don't blame me if you don't become GM soon because of pandemic, yeah? I'm not responsible for it. So, knight e5. I stopped playing knight f3 because of the Petrov. Oh, poor you. Poor you. Knight e5. Maybe we'll be inspired now. So now, of course, we everybody knows that d6 is the main move, but maybe we have some players who don't know, and maybe or you play with opponent which first time sees this and he grab this pawn here. And what's the problem is queen e2 you play, and here is the best probably to play d5, and after d3 queen e7, and white can play knight f7 d or simply take d queen 5 ed and stay with pawn up after exchange of queens. But in case of knight f6, we simply give check and take this queen. Okay, this is too easy stuff. We'll complicate a little bit things now. If after queen e2, he can play something like that. Queen e7, queen e4, d6 with the hope that he will take back this. Uh, Sasha Dow, hello. Yes. Then you play d4. You want to keep the pawn up. And f6. Your opponent persistently uh, wants to take back the pawn. You can play even f4 here, just for fun. Knight c3, of course, positional advantage. And after knight d7, he continues to make the threats. Then knight c3. And after d, you go knight d5, attacking the queen, attacking this pawn. And if he plays now mistake, queen d6, you take fe, fe, and d. And we see that after the queen e5, you grab knight c7 check, then grab here and take here. Or other way around, like queen e5 then knight 7. And after that, nothing to do here. Queen c6 is the only move. Because knight e5 is obviously bad because of bishop f4 and loses the knight. So what to do here? Queen c6, only move. And bishop b5. He continues the chasing away this queen. He cannot take because of fork. And after queen c5, I can play bishop e3 too. So queen g6. Then we can take queen g6, and we can take check here, here, and black is lost. You can also do it like Wilhelm Stein is analyzed. You can, instead of f4 after f6, you can play knight c3 as I mentioned. You can play here knight c3, and after d, knight d5. D, black takes to have this square open. So queen d6, and now we take d. Obviously queen e5 loses because we take the queen, and then we give check and fork. So he has to take fe, and bishop f4 here, attacking this pawn. In case of knight d7, you simply make a long castle, then bishop c4, then rook e1 with a huge attack here. But in case of c6, try to chase back this knight, reduce the power of white's attack. You don't go anyway. You go long castle here. You sacrifice this knight, and you use that. You will have much better develop, and the king stuck in the center. And cd, you have to accept that this suffer for the knight, but rook d5 attacking the queen. Queen g6. Queen d5 is not enough because we take, and we have different ways. Bishop b5 checks, then rook e1, rook d1, or even bishop c4 first, then rook e1, queen f3 with devastating attack here. So after rook d5, queen g6, try to attack, but rook e5 check, king f7 is loses because of bishop c4. So king d8 is only move. Rook d5 we attack, continue. Bishop d7, queen e5, aiming here, and after queen b6, sorry, this is bishop b5, queen b6 trying to protect. Anyway, bishop b5 we play. We see how what the power white pieces has. Now if they want to bring this rook here or here, and they give mates. King c8 and rook 8 hd1. Also is possible actually rook d7 without knight d7 and give this mate. But rook d1 is also enough. And after bishop b5, we give this beautiful check, and black is loses here. In case of queen e6, there is a mate. In case of knight d7, rook d7. In case of bishop d7, also rook d7. And there is a mate here or this mate. This is how you have not to play. Okay, 1 second, guys. I want to check one thing. Let me go to YouTube. You all remember Ruchas 27? I guess it's your first first streaming day. Let me see if she's streaming. Maybe we can write her something. Chapujari. Yeah, live now. I hope you see it. Yeah, she's doing puzzle rush.
King d5, then there is knight e3.
So
So what is difference between first move d6
nice
or
if you
first
also
move
help
knight
her.
f6? If we start with first move knight f6. So d1 queen, knight g4. So king d4 is only move. Oh, now difference is that knight e6 check. No, I don't.
Yeah, we're talking right now.
So what's the difference between d6 and knight f6?
Let's make it a little bit. 1 second. Give me a few minutes. She's just 27, very active in our chat, if you remember. Let's give her respect.
Hello, 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 Baadur. It's great to have you here. Yes, yes, so nice to see you. We have a super grandmaster in our chat right now. Welcome.
You can find your page if you write
How is
Lucha
your streaming
Jai.
going on? He is regularly streaming on Twitch on the name James Blunder. Do check it out. Yes, we have a super player here.
One second, what is the solution here?
So far we have reached 50 and we are thinking about this position now.
Chess is
I see, you're discussing opening traps. Yes, yes, very. You have very interesting streams on Twitch. So much to learn from you. This is my first stream today, and with people we are solving right now. And so far we are doing very well. We have some great players in the stream who are suggesting moves.
no theory, please. You're funny.
He is here and already he told us line d6 ed knight f6. Yes, we are thinking about two moves right now. So we have been long discussing about we saw this move d6, but we are not sure what is wrong with first move knight f6. That is what we are trying to understand. So we saw d6, but as Ash suggested, first move knight f6 and knight g4. So we are trying to understand what is the difference between these two moves.
Yes, give me a few minutes. If you
Hello
want
Kavita,
we'll
welcome
go
to
back
the
to theory.
stream.
Just thank you for following. We'll go with 76. Don't worry, guys, we'll go back soon to our opening tricks. Come on, push this pawn on d6.
Because king d6 retreats. So what if knight f6, d1 queen, then knight g4 check.
G4, king d6, king c5. D6 now.
Oh, I understand now
Thank you
what
for
you're saying.
chilling.
So knight f6.
Pirates.
No, I don't understand still.
Just go d6. Just
Why not knight f6? That is the question we are trying to understand.
d6, c5.
Just go d6. Yes, yes. Okay, we will go d6.
Yeah, let me see this move finally. Yeah, knight f6 now. That's it. Put this goddamn knight on e6 now.
Now here knight e6 because we want to control c5.
Come on, knight e6. I don't know, you see the board, guys, or not? Let me understand. Ah, you don't see board. Well, okay.
Yes, that's done. Well done. Of course, when we have help from one of the greatest players in the world, we are on fire. So last move was rook c7.
Okay, we back now to work.
So the
Okay,
queen is under attack right now.
let's go to back to work. 1 second. What we have next here, guys? Okay, let's now check the Marshall's Gambit in Petrov. So it starts like this: e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, knight e5, d6, the main line. First we chasing back this knight, and then we take on d4, because now queen e2 it leads to endgame, and we exchange the queens. This is difference. Your name is Rucha Pujari. So after that, d4 is the main line. Still popular, very popular nowadays. Bishop d3, this one is the main line. Bishop d6, castle, and me myself I played many games after castle, c4, c6, and so on. But what if opponent plays bishop g4 here? You must know this line. Pinning our queen, c4 we are trying to punish immediately our opponent in the center, and castle. This is a Marshall gambit. So Marshall has two gambits in Petrov, and also he has in the famous Spanish line Marshall's gambit. We know it by legend. He was keeping it in secret like few years, like maybe around 10 years even, to meet Capablanca and crush him. But Capablanca beat him anyway. That was pity. Sasha Dav, probably what you feel more, what you feel better, because without practice it's very hard to play new things. You don't know which form you have, so better first try to play what you know better. Yes, Rucha Puja is your name, yes. You are welcome. So CD, we accept the pawn. F5, this is the attack. So of course, obviously, black wants to create some big attack on this king side, right? On this also pin. And here is the correct move is knight c3. Yeah. But what if we flip board now and our opponent here played rook e1? What happens here, guys? How you can what you can do after that move? Nanuka, Baadur, I play chess on as hobby, only I have no idea how I got 2100 or 2200 on the rating. So you probably got by practice. I understood you are not good probably in theory, but by practical strength. You played probably a lot blitz or So domestic tournaments in New York City, as I understood, until pandemic arrives, as I understood. And what is your question? Or you just say to us your story. Without knowledge in theory and it's very hard to develop, make progress in chess. Like in everything actually, in every subject, theoretical knowledge you have to know before practical. But it's not bad result to have 2200 without any knowledge, any work. Probably you have some potential. How old are you? What is your age? Knight g5, Rip, you simply blunder bishop g5, I guess. Hmm. Elite are professional players, so they're just working whole life for that. It's very hard to explain. This is a long, many years of work. Yes, bishop h2. You see that after this inaccuracy, careless play, rook e1, last move, he weakens this pawn. So best was knight c3 to attack this knight. It's a strong attack. You always have to, first of all, you always have to ask yourself what the opponent wants, and then what is the most active piece of opponent. We see that this bishop and this knight are more active, so you have to develop and same time disrupt this knight. So that's why this continuation doesn't have such a good reputation nowadays. But rook e1 leads to bishop h2 check. Maybe the best continuation is simply admit that you blunder it. We can play here because of fork we see. So maybe king f1 is a good continuation here, but obviously something go wrong here. We can simply develop and continue initiative. But king h2 leads to more problems here. Black takes knight f2, attacking this. So for example, you play here, we take here, we take, and then we take here. This is a variation what opponent blunder, and now queen h2 is the idea. Also bishop d5. Black has big advantage. For example, this we give check, queen h3, and we grab this rook. Yeah, this is an idea. This was the trick here. And now in this position, why knight c3 is good? We flip the board. Knight c3. That's why it has to be played first. And if opponent plays knight d7, insisting to accept another sacrifice on e4. But instead of take on e4 and give him initiative, you can go in this position, rook e1 now. The things are changed, and we will see how they changed. And now, if he takes bishop h2, the thing changed radically, because now you take king h2, knight f2, it seems to be the same idea. Yeah, this is a Petrov, yes, FHS, hello. And the difference that we don't play the same, queen e2, knight d3, bishop 3. We have this intermediate, very unpleasant move, bishop g5. And the difference that we input this knight c3 and knight d8, knight d7, it works for white because these rooks now connected. So after bishop g5, black is in serious trouble here. So you have two moves, knight d1 or queen g5. If he just retreats, we also play queen d2 and stamps extra piece. Thank you for following. So in case of queen g5 here, We take knight g5. He has to accept bishop d1, and after that we simply take rook a d1, maybe even stronger bishop b5 actually here. Yeah, attacking this knight and also this bishop on the attack. Yeah, we're winning the piece, but even rook d1 is also enough. Knight d1 with advantage, but bishop b5 is stronger. Yeah. So after bishop g5, he takes knight d1. You take bishop d8. In case of rook d8, you simply take rook d1, and we have three pieces against his two. Game is over. And after that, he has to take knight c3 here. No, of course not bc because rook d8 now, but bishop e7, strong move. Now he cannot go rook e8 because we take and this bishop protected with rook. So he has to take knight d5. But after bishop f8, rook f8 and knight e5, white's position is winning technically. Can be something like knight e5 here, rook e5, attacking this strong position of knight, c6 and bishop c4, using that this bishop cannot protect knight. For example, if this bishop would be on f7, pawn on g6, black maybe would have some chances, but now they don't have. And after rook d8, this rook activates to 7 rank, attacking the b7, and in games when we have exchange, and if we have very active rooks which attacks this uh, pawns on the queen side, it's close to winning position. Yeah, this was the idea here behind the white's play. Okay, for example, if you're black, you you have to remember how you not have to play Petrov in one line. So, for example, we start with e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, knight e5, d6, knight f3, knight e4, d4, d5, bishop d3. Knight c6, one of the line. Castle, bishop e7, rook e1, bishop e5, I guess, is the main move here. But bishop g4, for example, you play, and c4. And now opponent wants to trap you. Does the lichess have an opening learner, or is there any other site where I can practice openings? I don't have any idea about your question, Kirusha, sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe, I'm not sure. Here, knight f6, probably black has to play retreat and give initiative in the center after knight c3 or cd knight c3. But thank you for following. Knight d4 if you take. This is a huge blunder here. Because after knight d4, simply white takes bishop e4. And after d, you take with queen here all suddenly. If queen d4, knight d4, we win the piece. And after if queen g4. This you have to remember. And now we can see the Morphy style play of white against Petrov. e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, and now instead of take bishop c4 you can play. In bully chess definitely can be useful. Morphy was playing a few games like that. And after knight e4, knight c3. So we give material for for fast development and big initiative here. And if opponent is greedy and he wants to keep pawn, he takes here dc. We see that this is hanging. Also queen d5 is coming. And for example, he makes mixed mistake here. d6. This is already mistake. After that, what do you think? How we can punish here? By force. 95 is one of the options, but he plays queen e7. He's not obliged to take d, bishop f7, yeah? He has queen e7, after bishop f7, king d8 is not clear because this knight is under attack. You have much more stronger option here. Using that knight not anymore on g8. Yeah, this line is quite tricky. So knight g5 is a very strong move. So if knight on g8, he play knight h6, right? And now yes, now yeah, pawn is weak here. So bishop e6 he has to play. Then you take with bishop here, or suddenly, not with knight. With knight, it's simply positional advantage, quite big. But we take with bishop fe and queen f3, very strong move. There is a threat queen f7 mate in one, also knight f7 fork, and also queen b7. And black physically cannot defend against all of them. And after queen d7, we grab on b7. We want to take this rook. And after queen 6, we give check here. King e7, we give check here and mate. This is how we punish opponent for inaccuracy in openings. Okay, now we can see one line here. For example, you're white, e4, opponent plays e5, knight f3, he plays d6. Now here is the main move d4. Here's the main move d4, and it's almost forced to play ed, and then you have advantage by space. But you can also try to play bishop c4 here. Tricky move with idea knight f6, knight g5. And bishop e7 if opponent plays, yeah? He wants to cover g5 square and want to play knight f6 in castle. But after that you play d4 now. And he takes ed, for example. You take with knight. All logical moves, knight f6, black is okay. Knight c3, and he plays knight c6, for example. Castle, castle. This position can be in game. And now you can play h3 here, tricky move. And not allow bishop g4 idea. And want to play next rook e1 and put and develop pieces and have space advantage. For example, if opponent takes here, I guess you will have position advantage after d5. You can even take here, then play bishop d3, and this will be very unpleasant position because this pawn structure is very bad. And for example, opponent plays rook e8, logical move, rook e1, and he plays knight d7. What happens after this move? What do you think, guys? Okay, Sasha Dow and other strong players will easily find it, so don't say. Nanuka, shh. Let's others think a little bit. Now we are on opening. I mean, this is opening in open debuts, right? So we slowly go to half closed and closed. Don't hurry. We have series of streamings. I'm not going to show to everything in one day, right? It's impossible. So what do you think, guys? How can white immediately punish this inaccuracy, knight d7? A huge blunder. No, this is not Fischer's game, but I understand what you mean. Yeah. Thank you for following. Yeah, bishop f7. This is a punishment, guys. Put this check. If king goes, we take or play knight d6. So king has to take, and all suddenly knight d6. This is the idea. We catch this queenie. He cannot go. And in case of take, queen d5 check, and good night kiss for this kingy. This is very unpleasant. Such ideas we have to know. So what happens now? If white plays like black plays like this, d6, d4, and they don't want to give you center and want to keep it with knight d7. This very common mistakes after these moves. So bishop c4, aiming this weak point, and for example c6 he plays with idea, I don't know, to have somewhere d5 or don't give you chance after d queen d5, right? Looks logical. Thank you for following. Then knight g5, very unpleasant move. Attacking here, knight h6, castle. This can be a very unpleasant idea here for black. So now this strong move probably is knight b6, forcing this bishop first to go back. But what if in bully chess or blitz game the opponent play like this? What do you think? How you can play here with white? Nanuga, don't hurry because bishop f7, knight f7, knight d6. It's not so clear. He will escape here. Knight g7, king d8, king f8, and or king f. Yeah, king d8, king e8. It's not so clear. We cannot trap the queen because it has this. Queen h5 is not clear because he plays knight f6 here. And after bishop f7, king f8. And then this is hangs. Yeah, knight e6. This is very beautiful blow here. In case of queen b6, then we take knight g7 and take this knight, right? And instantly we will win. So fe and bishop h6. This is the whole idea now. So what to do here? In case of knight b6, we take bishop g7, attacking the rook. Knight c4, bishop h8, simply exchange. In case of g8, very unpleasant queen h5 check, king d7, and bishop e6 check. Of king e6 will be mate in one. Of king c7, we simply take bishop g8 and game is over very quick. So after bishop h6, there is no good moves here for black. And in case of gh, we give check, and after king f8, we take here. And there is a mate in one thread, and after queen e8, we give familiar mate on h6. Yeah, this can be useful very much in fast control games. Now, very, very nice game. It was played in 1945, in the year when World War II was over, between Krogius versus Aratovsky. So, look at this, similar ideas in the game. Thank you for following, guys. Knight f3, d6. Aratovsky was not a bad player, but look what happened here. Knight d7. Uh, he tried to keep this center. Then bishop c4, c6, knight g5 immediately, and after knight h6, a4. Krogius played with very tricky idea. First of all, he not allowed b5, and then we will see what is difference here. Hello, Alex Evsev. Hello, welcome. And for example, bishop e7, his opponent played, and tell me now what happens in this position. We know about similar idea of knight e6. What else can be with white here? Yeah, looks only similar but not similar because it was castle included and pawn was a2. Now it's completely different and it can be so huge differences. Again, queen h5, knight f6 will play, or even castle. Yeah, pitches. So bishop f7 this time. Knight f7 and knight e6. We are attacking the queen. It has two moves, this or this, as we see. So opponent Aratovsky played queen b6 here. In case of queen f5, there would be bishop d2 attacking the queen. He doesn't have queen e6 square because of fork. We see after queen b6, he would play a5, queen b2, and bishop c3. And we catch the queen because queen b5 is a fork again. That's why he played queen b6. But Krogius calculated this all. He played a5, attacking the queen. Again, we don't have these squares or these squares because of fork. Yeah. He played only move queen b4. Bishop d2 now he played. c7 was same, also possible, same idea, but he played bishop d2 with idea bishop c3. So opponent played queen c4, attacking the knight, but knight c7 check, king d8, and we don't take this rook, of course. The whole idea behind this play, b3. Look at this move. And queen doesn't have any moves, because here is knight, here is a knight, and here is a knight. Here is a bishop. So only moves here, but boom. And we give fork and win the game. Thank you for following. Can be also useful trick. Now, very common mistake by black, which amateur players are doing often in this position. For example, knight gf6 looks natural, right? Can anybody can make such mistake. D you take, and knight e5. In case of d, there is a knight g5 now, and impossible to protect. For example, after knight e4, you even don't take it. You can play queen d5 here. So knight e5, black takes, but knight e5, this is the idea. D and check. This is what you're using here. King f7, queen d8, and after bishop b4, you give this back with queen d2, and after bishop d2, knight d2, we see that we arrive in the end game when this knight protects this pawn. Next move will be b3, then f3, then b3, bishop b2, long castle, and this pawn also. So white has pawn up and also positional advantage in this. Yeah, this is very common idea. You can catch the opponent here. What else can happen in the game? Your opponent also can make another mistake. For example, in this position, after bishop c4, not play knight f6, not play c6, but play knight b6. Try to attack the bishop and open this diagonal. What can happen here? You play bishop e3, this pawn under attack, so they have to take. And now you take with queen, because the black actually made trap to you. If you take with knight here, they want to play c5, attack the knight, and then c4 and catch this bishop. Look at this tricky beach by black. But you take with queen, not allows it. Because after c5 you can simply go back and this protected this square twice. And this became weakness. So after queen d4, for example, your opponents want to exchange the queens. You are in very aggressive mode this day and you don't want to change or play knight c3, which also has positional advantage. Queen d3, you just leave. And now he try to take initiative to his hands, attacking this bishop, this knight, and then wants to make long castle maybe in some moments. But bishop g5 is the answer here. Very unpleasant. And in this position, probably the safest way is to play queen g6. Then you can play knight bd2, long castle, and so on, with strong pressure on black's position because of development advantage. What happens after queen b2, guys? What was behind the idea of bishop g5? What happens here? How you can instantly punish your opponent? Yes, queen b5 check. Look at this all suddenly. Queen b5, we give check, and whatever black will cover with c6 or bishop d7, for example c6, you take this pawn with check, and all suddenly boom, and no queen on the board anymore. Another very common mistake I will show you. After e4, e5, knight f3, d6, d4, knight d7, bishop c4, and no c6, no knight f6, but bishop e7, for example. This c6 is called Hanem defense. What is how we can punish here? We take d immediately, and now probably 95 is better, but still, you take. Now you don't have this anymore. This idea, what was possible at knight f6, because it's protected, but you have queen h5 move, Nakamura style, attacking this pawn, but and you can lost. You have to lose this pawn after this, and white has advantage. So after d, black plays, which is even worse. Queen d5 you get. Attacking this pawn and using this knight h6 is not possible because bishop can take, and after gh you simply give mate. And after queen d5 position is lost completely. For example, after knight b6 try somehow queen f7 check, king d7, knight e5 check, king d6, and knight you can win by queen g7 or with knight d3, no matter. And in case of knight c4 you simply give the mate here. Yeah, this how black has to be careful. Another common mistake in this position. So we know that ed is not good move, Knight f6 not good move. Knight b6 not good move. Bishop e7 mistake. Another common mistake, h6, yeah? So once and forever protect this pawn. It's bad because of d. Now we know that knight e5. It's simply we take, and have this similar idea, bishop f7. So after d, d. What happens now, guys? How will you punish the opponent? Knight e5 is huge blunder. He will take knight e5 and protect this pawn. Queen d5 is not so strong anymore, right? He will play queen e7 or queen f6. But bishop f7, a huge blow. He has to accept, otherwise just will be pawn down and completely lost. But knight e5 check. If this knight would be here, he would take queen d8 and then check and take our queen. But unfortunately, knight covers this rook. What to do? King e8 is loses after queen h5 and just mate, or huge material loses. So what to do? King e6 is queen d5. So knight d5 is loses. Only move is king f6 and queen d5 anyway. And there is no move. If knight d5 is the queen, so queen e7 is loses because of knight g4, king g6, queen e5 mate. Queen e8 was more or less best continuation, but f4, very strong move here. And black has not good moves. It's very strong attack by white. And in knight, if you take, then you can take, then castle with very huge attack here. And if in case of knight e7 here, we give queen f7 check, king d5, only moves, then bishop a4. Look at this king again in the center, king d4. In case of knight king d4, we just knight c3 checks and long castle and mating, queen king d4. But after that, you can even play slow move like queen e6 here, with idea bishop e3 mate, and black cannot defend it because knight c5 is a mate. In case of king c5, you can various way give mate, give check here, then probably give check, and then give check, then give check, and mate him here. This is how can you punish. Иванов, не знаю, если пригласит, то да, наверное. Wien, Wien game. I don't know how to say it in English. You know, city Vienna. So Wien game probably will be in English. So it happens after e4, e5, knight c3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, queen g4. You can play here. Look at this move. Attacking this pawn, creating unpleasant threats. Now g6 or king f8 is safe continuation, but if your opponent plays queen f6 here, what happens then? He wants to attack here, and knight d5, very strong continuation here, attacking queen and attacking this pawn. So you're forcing to take on f2, otherwise just simply grab. Vienna game, yeah. So queen f2, king d1. So knight c7 is a threat and queen g7. So black tries to defend both with one move, king f8. And now suddenly another knight comes to game, knight h3. Attacking the queen and d6, not possible, we take it, and after bishop g4, we take this bishop. So black has only way to go in this position is queen d4. Here. And what's going on after this move? You play d3, protecting the bishop, and you want to catch the queen with c3. Doesn't have any rare case when queen in the center in such positions. And after d3, what's going on here? Bishop b6 looks logical. Protect and open this square for the queen. But rook f1, strong move. So the threat is knight b6 and rook f7. Destroys the black's position. And logically, black plays this, and what happens now? Thank you for following. Спасибо. Да, мы с ним обсуждали, не надо писать. Мы с ним обсуждали, что он в один из дней пригласит, наверное. Ну, если захочет, пригласит. Нет, так нет. Там хватает у него комментаторов. The beautiful win here by force. Yes, Nanuka, you're right. No, bishop e3 is not so convincing. First of all, this hangs. Also queen b2 is possible. Да, Андрей. Иванов, не смешите. Rook f6, very beautiful move here. The point is that after this move, if you play gf, you are simply crushing here with bishop h6 check, king e8, and then queen g7. And rook doesn't have any move, so we just destroy. But what if opponent plays d6? What do you play here? Attacking queen. Yeah, queen g7 was very strong then, yeah. What you do here? After rook f7, maybe it's still winning after king f7, but it's not clear, not super clear. You can instantly punish your opponent with mate here. In 4 moves. In 4 moves you can give the mate. How you can do it? Yeah, queen g7. This is beauty here. Of course he has to take. Now bishop h6 check. No way to go. King g8 and then knight e7 check. Knight e7 and boom. Good night kiss again. This how can you punish here in a very beautiful way. Now I want to show you Latvian game. Latvian gambit it calls, better say. Yeah, yes, Sasha, you're right. e4, e5, knight f3. And imagine your aggressive opponent played Latvian gambit f5. In bully chess, very possible. Or maybe you can use it with black actually. Knight e5 we take. So this is like king's gambit, but with tempo up, right? So knight e5. Queen f6 the opponent play, because if there will be check and then we take here and winning immediately. So queen f6, he's trying to, after queen h5, have this g6 move. After the d4, we develop and same time fight for initiative here. So opponent played d6, chasing back this knight, knight c4, fe, and knight c3. We see that something is wrong in black's position because they developed queen, which uh, classical theory not applause for this because we need to develop queen in the openings in very rare case, and we have white has two knights already in the game and also attacking the pawn. Something went really wrong for black, and now imagine that they try to make to you some trap after c6. Songa, hello. No, I'm not planning to try much. So the correct way here was more or less correct to play queen g6 here, defend, and white could play knight e3, move with either bishop c4 and have better prospects here. Positional advantage. But after c6, black wants to create some trap. But you know this theory, and you take knight e4, attacking the queen. Of course, queen e7 we simply take. So queen e6, this is what they were hoping to play d5 and win one of the knights. But we go further. Queen e2, we play. Now is the threat knight d6, bishop d6, knight d6, and there is a pin. d5 your opponent plays. So what you play here? What do you think? How you continue with white? Thank you for following. Go chess go. Okay, we all see such kinds of checks like knight d6 or knight c6, but what is the idea? After knight, for example, e d6, he will play king d8, then what you do? Or maybe even more brave, king d7. Then you take queen e6, king e6, knight c8, then dc is not so clear because this knight is trapped. Here is much more interesting idea. Thank you for following. Which idea white has? Beautiful ideas here. Try to find something beautiful. So knight d6 is correct beginning. What after king d7? After knight e5, Sasha Dow, he will take this king, the knight on d6. And after bishop e4, king e7. Then, yeah, but I take king d6, bishop e4, king e7. Is it so clear or what? We lose the material. Trade the queens, also not clear. He will take on e6, knight c8, dc. Bishop c4, king d7, catch the knight. What? When bishop g5? I don't understand. After king, you mean knight d6, king d7, knight d5, king d6, bishop g5? What's the point if I go king c7? You just lost the material. After knight d6, king d7, bishop g5. What's the point? If I take dc, again you lost the piece. Or first take here and then I take. Or also take here. No, not king d8. King d8 is bad because we take knight b7 check. And then we can connect pieces like queen e6 and knight c8 protected. Go chess go. Knight e d6, king d7, bishop f4. But If we take DC, what happens? Yeah, that's the point. Knight e6 check. So black has two moves here. King d7, three moves. King d7, king d8, or bishop d6. Obviously, bishop d6 is simply bad end game. We can take, and then give here. King d8 is also bad. Because we check, he cannot take here because of this. Or even we can start with queen e6. Okay, I like more check. King c7, and then we can simply take here, bishop e6, and here. And then this escapes here, also bishop b4, we have bishop b4, we simply play c3. This position is simply winning. So king d7 is practical, but knight f7, double exclamation mark. Look at this move. And black is hopeless, because queen f7 is simply fork and ruins the queen. And what to do here? In case of queen e2, we take, then dc we take, and if I manage to go back, you're lost. And after king d7, we give checks, and bishop c4, and destroy black's position. So after knight f7, dc is more or less forced, but we take queen e6, king e6, and we give this check, important check first, protecting the knight. King e7, and knight h8, attacking here, and want to go back. So only hope for black is to win this knight. So bishop e6 only chance to change this bishop, and don't give this idea. But the intermediate check, very important, develop with tempo. Knight f6, then we take and make long castle. If we manage to play rook e1, then knight f7, the game is over. So here black plays knight bd7 to protect this square. Still we go check, king f5. Now knight f7 is also winning, then we exchange. But bishop h4 is also possible here. And g5, last hope for black. Bishop g3 and bishop g7 to attack here. But simply knight f7, and this knight is go away to d6, and we see what we have here. Exchange and 2 pawns. Completely winning position. We can see one game of Mises versus Chigorin in 1906. The point that in that period Chigorin was very sick. He was very sick, and his level goes very down. So we can see now e4, e5. We can see how he lost in this Vienna game. Bishop c4, bishop c5, the similar ideas. Queen g4, queen f6, knight d5, queen f2. Mises was with white. King d1, king f8, knight h3. We remember this line. And d3. And in that line we saw bishop b6, rook f1, and so on. But d6 Chigorin played here. Queen h4 Mises played. c3 still is a threat. And now Chigorin plays bishop h3 to have this square. Queen h3, obviously. Now, in case of queen f2, Mises wanted to play bishop d2 and create serious threats for queen. For example, if you play something like, I don't know, knight f6, then would be bishop e1. Attacking queen, only move here, and then we catch it with c3. No more squares to go. That's why Chigorin tries to eliminate this bishop, strong bishop, and also have this c6 possibility. Now c3 meets queen f2. And after that, what happened here? Rook f1 Mises played. Now he is threatening c3, and not Chigorin doesn't have this move. Stelkic 23, zdravo, zdravo, dobro, kako sam? Hvala. And now he take knight c4. The point that after c3 he wants to take knight b2 with check and then go here. But Mises have another tricky idea here. He play queen d7 using that white light square bishop no more on the board and attacking here. Look at this move. And now Chigorin plays f6. And in this position, knight f6, very strong move. The threat is knight h7, double mate. And unfortunately, Chigorin played queen f2, only move. In case of gf, he would lost like this, rook f6, knight f6, bishop h6 check, king g8, and mate here, or g7. Same idea would be after knight f6, obviously. We would take here, gf, and bishop h6, and then mate on g7. Similar. So only move is queen f2, and after that, white simply took on f2, bishop f2, knight h5, and it's completely lost position. It's possible to play g6 here, but bishop h6 check, knight h6, queen g7 check, king d8, knight f6, king d8, and queen d7 mate. This had resigned before. Now also very common mistake by black can be happens. This was a Vienna game, it calls. So e4, e5, knight c3. You are white, imagine. Knight c6. Sorry, knight f6, bishop c4. And now here black takes on e4. Thank you for follow. More simple and quiet game arise after knight c6 and d3, bishop b4, and so on. But opponent is aggressive. He takes knight e4. He wants after knight e4 play d5. But very interesting continuation. Queen h5, attacking here, attacking here. If black doesn't know this line, they can lose very easily here. So knight d6. He continues. How else to protect this? Well, no other way, because g6, queen e5 check. Then we exchange this queen here and take the here. Knight d6, attacking the bishop. So we play bishop e3, and now we use that his pieces are a little bit stacked here. And also this is under attack. Bishop e3, e7, for example, he develops here. There is another line. If knight c6, knight b5 here. Yeah, if take this, in case of g6, we continue put pressure on this pawn. After e5, we go like this, and still we want to attack. And there is this gambit. Yeah, it's quite. It's still not so clear what is the last evolution here. But if opponent don't know and he play bishop b7 here, you play d3 tricky move. You don't take material here because of castle and the knight c6, and opponent can have initiative. d3 move, and now castle is very risky move. Knight c6 was probably good. Knight f3 and g6. Then you play queen h6, bishop with compensation for the pawn. But if your opponent plays castle, right, he wants to give you pawn back, insisting to give back, and then take advantage of not advantage but initiative. In this position, knight f3, very unpleasant move. Not only aiming this, but another idea. And knight c6, natural move your opponent plays, and knight g5, this is the whole idea. Now, black has two moves, h6 or bishop g5. Instead of bishop g5, you take bishop g5. Now knight e7 is bad move because of knight d5, and using this pin, and after f6 there is a double check, like this, and then mate in one. So after that, queen e8 is like forced. And still knight d5 with the idea knight c7, and black's position is very bad. Also knight f6 can be. That's right. So h6 is more or less forced. And now h4. This is the idea. Look at this strong move. If white to play, for example, if knight d4, we play queen g6 here. And after hg, we take hg, and there is no defense for queen h7. Quadras pass, hello. No, I'm not going anywhere. I just a little bit cold here. Yeah. So h4, very unpleasant move. Knight e8, for example, black plays. What else? How to defend? And after that, we play knight d5 even. We even don't take. We can play knight d5 here. And this idea is, you will see what is the idea behind this move. We want to win beautiful way. So knight f6, logical move. And queen g6. Look at this move, guys. This is the beauty of chess. Now the threat is knight f6, queen h7 mate. In case of ag, there will be knight f6 check, bishop f6, ag, and then mate here. And after fg, there is a check, and this mate. We see how you can punish your opponent. Thank you for following, by the way. Yeah, of course we want to win, not only to win, but win pretty, right? We don't want to be boring. Thank you for following. This is how we punish opponent very quickly. Okay, guys, I will probably make a break. I will eat something, and maybe then we can continue. Probably very interesting. Next is also very interesting, central gambit, central opening, better say. It starts with e4, e5, d4. The crazy stuff is going on here. We can see it in I don't know. I will continue in half an hour, something like that, and hope to see you guys. For now, I will go and see you later, guys. Yeah, join me in about half an hour probably. By the way, I'm not sure. Maybe I activated emotes or not. Can you check it? I'm not sure. I was trying to do something with that, but I'm not sure that I did it. Thank you for following. The emotes is working now or not? I did not, of course, yeah. Okay, probably I need some support of mod later. Okay, guys, see you later.